The following news flash is brought to you by the Lone Star Lowdown, providing your daily bulletins for the commodities market. Today in history, news updates, and the inside scoop into the tides of the alternative. Markets for Friday, April Fool's Day 2016 are currently trading with gold at $1,221.75 an ounce, silver $15.04 an ounce, Texas crude $38.34 a barrel, and Bitcoin is currently sitting at about 416 U.S. currency. Today in history, the year 2001. Same-sex civil unions become legal in the Netherlands. The first country in the world issued civil union licenses to gay and lesbian couples. Today in history. In recent news, some corporate April Fool's pranks went not so well this year. Yahoo's Inc. news service published an article reporting that all the Trader Joe's more than 450 grocery stores would be closing in 2017. Trader Joe's fans went to Twitter with mad tweets, even though at the end of the article it stated that it was clearly a joke. A spokeswoman for Trader Joe's said that the chain had nothing to do with it. And Google, who has been quite active in pranking customers for the last decade on this date, added a Gmail mic drop button to their Gmail services, which automatically sent an animated image from the Minions movie showing the character Bob dropping a microphone. Many users were unhappy after accidentally pressing the button, sending the joke email in reply to more serious ones. A CIA K-9 unit conducted a routine training exercise with law enforcement officials at a school district in Loudoun County, Virginia, during spring break, during which explosive material was inadvertently left by the CIA in one of the school buses used in the exercise, which now appears to have unknowingly carried students for 2 days while the explosive material sat underneath the hood. Loudoun County Public Schools officials stated that the bus was in service on Monday and Tuesday, made 8 runs totaling roughly 145 miles, carrying 26 students. The explosive material was discovered during a routine maintenance job Wednesday afternoon. Why the fumble? Apparently a container holding the explosives was hidden inside the engine compartment during the K-9 training, of which a portion of it fell from the container into the engine compartment and was simply overlooked during the recovery. And though the CIA is assuring the public that the material posed no immediate danger, the exact nature of the material is not being released by request of the CIA to ensure, I'm sure, that a compromising of training techniques is not made public. Loudoun County Public Schools, county law, and fire officials and the CIA have announced this particular training program has been suspended until a thorough review of all procedures is completed. This is Rick Rohde with your lowdown for April 1st, 2016.
All you schmohawks out there, you have done something really silly and tuned into the Voice of Reason radio show here on the Logos Radio Network and locally in Austin at 89.1 FM. I am your host, Ben Farmer, and with me, as always, I've got Mr. Nick Reed. Say hello.
True story. I am here, live and well.
You know, something really odd happened yesterday, Nick.
What, Ben?
There was a nationally televised debate for the Libertarian candidates for President of the United States.
Get out of here.
I know it.
No way.
You know, something, it seemed to be all over my phone today as I was driving over here.
All over your phone. Yeah, my news feed, of course, was blowing up because I'm friends with libertarians, of course, from all over the country. I do want to mention that, Nick, you have brought in this lovely young lady next to me. This is your sister, Camilla Reed.
Say hello, Camilla.
Hi, I'm Camilla.
And thank you for joining us today. Yeah, so we actually had a nationally televised debate last night. And I tell you what, Nick, I got chills. I was so happy to actually see libertarians debating libertarian issues on TV. It was a civil debate. There wasn't a lot of there wasn't any mudslinging going on.
Yeah, actually, that was really impressive.
It was hosted by the mustache of the movement himself, Mr. John Stossel, and he also did really well as a debate moderator. And I really encourage everybody to go online if you have not seen the debate. Go check it out. It's all over the internet at this point.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to find. But I came out of it with some odd feelings deep in my cockles. I think I might be starting to support Austin Peterson for president.
He definitely dominated that debate. And I don't just mean, that he did better than everybody else, but I really liked some of the stuff he was saying, even though it seems like on what is that website that you can
isidewith.com.
Yeah. isidewith.com. Even though I didn't side with him, I thought that in the debate, he did really well.
Well,
I really enjoyed some of the stuff he said, especially the young.
Yeah, topic. I mean, the thing about Austin is that everyone, and he's rubbed me the wrong way too, for this exact reason. He's just kind of douchey. I don't know what the correct word is. He's just kind of a robotic-y kind of DC guy, and he just rubs people the wrong way. And that's kind of how I've
He's
always...
He's not from Texas, Ben.
Well, I know. He's been on the show, and he was actually great on this show as well.
We're going to have to forgive him for not being from Texas, but...
Maybe so.
Neither is Gary Johnson. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of them are from Texas.
No, Gary Johnson would be the closest. He's from New Mexico.
All right. Well, he gets a freer pass.
But, and I think we've all in this party been like, well, it's great that we have, John McAfee, Austin Peterson, and Gary Johnson making this process actually interesting this time around. But I think we all kind of were like, but in the end, Gary Johnson's going to pull it out. But he was certainly the weakest debater last night. I don't think anybody thinks he won the debate.
Right. No, he definitely took the back seat, and I think that the polls didn't exactly show that he came out on top either.
It was really surprising to me because he has had 2 years at least, campaigning. He wasn't campaigning the entire time, obviously, but he ran for president. He was the nominee in 2012.
Right. He has ran before.
Yeah. And he gave very non-libertarian answers to some questions. And John McAfee was great, very charming. One of the funniest lines of the night. Yeah. One of the funniest lines of the night was they vaguely started talking about gay marriage, and he put his hand on Austin's shoulder and said, "I met Austin in a gay bar." And it was hilarious. It was great seeing a debate that I actually enjoyed watching and didn't feel like sticking a fork in my eye.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things that Camilla mentioned, actually, that she noticed different about this debate. Camilla, have you ever seen a libertarian presidential debate?
I have not.
What did you think about it?
I actually thought it was funny while I was watching it because they were all just chill about the situation and there wasn't much tension going around.
That's true. Yeah. I enjoyed that as well. We've been watching these other debates and it's like
cutthroat.
And
they go for the jugular.
And they suck. They're not really even talking about issues. They're just talking about each other's wives.
It might as well be your mom jokes. It might just...
Right. But this was great. I mean, they talked about foreign intervention. They talked about the war on drugs. They talked about the views on what the government's role is in the lives of free people.
Abortion, religion, politics, it was all on the table. All the stuff that you don't talk about at the dinner table.
Yeah.
But it was very civil. I think that definitely is in favor of the libertarian platform.
Definitely.
Itself, to see that, such a civil debate talking about such controversial issues.
And if you'd like to see these people debating next week, they will be in San Antonio, Texas at the Libertarian Party of Texas State Convention.
Oh, that's right. We're doing it again.
We're doing it again. Just very next week on Friday, in fact, in San Antonio. And there are tickets available if you go to libertynow.org. Also, if you want to generally get involved with the Libertarian Party of Texas, go to lptexas.org and, click around. See if you can find something in there that you like.
That's right.
Well, okay. I thought we were coming up on a break, but I guess not. The computer rebooted.
I was looking at the time, too.
I want to get back to how surprised I was when I found myself nodding my head when Austin Peterson would say something, because I did not listen. I did not go into that debate thinking I'm a Peterson guy at all. But I came out of it going, I just agreed with everything he said. Now, one thing that I definitely don't agree with him on the fundamental level is he is pro-life. And I'm a little bit more gray area in there. But the way he said it, I totally agreed with, which was we should morally all be pro-life.
Right.
And find ways to make abortions less often, I guess. He said the way to do that is you end the war on drugs so that women can buy birth control over the counter. But you don't make laws saying you shouldn't have abortions. You try to find ways to make it less common.
Right. And ending the war on drugs. It seems like and Camille and I were just talking about this actually, that the abortion or the reproductive rights topic is really, it's the one thing I see within the libertarian platform that people just don't agree on. There's really a lot of disagreement.
Well, there is. We make a joke about the one way if you want to kill a bunch of libertarians at the same time, lock everyone into a room, scream the word abortion, and then run out of the room, and they'll all just do it to one another. Because we don't agree. We don't. Our philosophy just really doesn't have a good way of covering that societal problem.
It doesn't, because you have the individual's rights and their reproductive rights, and at the same time you have the rights of this individual, then you have the question of what point is it an individual and at what point is it life, and then you have issues of rape and incest and all this other, and it's just like, but you know what? I do see one commonality between both factions in the Libertarian Party, and that is that regardless, what is government doing in it?
Right. Yeah, exactly. We say we are pro-choice in everything. And what government does is it monopolizes us a thing so that then you no longer have a choice in the matter. So yeah, libertarians, I would say across the board, there's probably some exceptions. It's an individualist movement after all, but pretty much across the board think government should be not involved in it.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, something else that I heard that was really inspiring in that debate, when they were talking about the ISIS issue, which they always bring up, the ISIS issue. They can't make it out of any debate without talking about the ISIS issue. And John McAfee talked about surveillance, because of course John McAfee is, McAfee
antivirus. Yeah, that's his
shtick.
He's all about the cyber stuff.
And he's, if we did intelligence right, and actually, you know what, I really, I wasn't too impressed with his response. It sounded like if I were head of the NSA, I would do it better kind of approach to it.
And that's the answer that he's been giving for a couple of months now is it's not eliminating the security state. It's somehow managing it better. And I agree, I agree that I'm not on board with that aspect of his platform.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about, he's talking about we have the means to be able to do surveillance without violating the Constitution, because it's not a person listening to phone calls. It's a program. But, that sounds kind of ridiculous to me, honestly. Well, this is just my personal opinion. This isn't, me, LP Texas.
Sure.
But
sure. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of ridiculous. I mean, there is always going to be that chance for a human being to be able to abuse that. And in fact, I would say it's 100% chance that somebody will abuse it at some point. You know whose answer I found myself liking?
Austin Peterson.
I can't believe
that's what I was going to say. It was incredibly surprising.
He said we should do it the same way that the founding fathers dealt with Islamic terrorism, which was they issued letters of marque, which means that.
Tell me more about this. So I'm going to play the dumb actor role who says, "Where are we?" So and fills in the audience.
It's in the Constitution.
Oh, I can play that role.
Camilla, why don't you play in that role?
It's in the Constitution that if Congress wants to issue letters of marque, it's basically a private citizen can go and kill a guy and collect money from the government, or capture a guy and collect money from the government.
That's promising.
Yeah, they've issued a letter of marque. So instead of the whole society having to pay for an entire army to go over to accomplish something and then engage in regime changes and nation building and all this stuff. Really, we should have just issued letters of marque for Osama bin Laden, for instance.
Like a bounty.
That's exactly what it is. It's
a bounty. It's a bounty. So it's kind of a way of, it's a privatized solution to these things?
Well, it's more privatized than us.
But they still get paid by the government.
They still get paid by the government, right.
Which gets their money from taxes.
Which, exactly right. So, and taxation is theft. And so we're into this loop of things.
It is a good debate.
It is a better solution.
I haven't looked into it.
It is a better solution than the one we currently use, which I think makes terrorism worse.
Like running around looking for Osama bin Laden in a hole in the desert,
right?
Which he probably was in a palace with George Bush's family drinking tea.
Exactly. We don't know where all these folks are, but ultimately, I don't want my tax money going to the wars. Mm-hmm. I haven't believed in any of these wars that have happened in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for them. Anyways, we are coming up on a break here, and we're going to have some sound bites from the debate from last night. If you come back with us, you're listening to the Voice of Reason radio show. It's the official radio show of the Libertarian Party of Texas. Go to lptexas.org to get more involved. We'll be back with more from Nick and Camilla. I'm Ben Farmer.
This is the Logos Radio Network.
Whoa, amber is the color of your energy. Whoa, shades of gold displayed naturally. You wanna know what brings me here? Glide through my head, blind to fear, and I know why. Whoa, amber is the color of your energy. Whoa, shades of gold displayed naturally.
Good day to you, all you folks out there, you schmohawks out there, listening to the Voice of Reason radio show here on the Logos Radio Network and locally in Austin, Texas at 89.1 FM. Did I mention that it's a gorgeous day today? It is April 2nd, 2016. It's about 63 degrees outside. The blue bonnets. Have you seen the blue bonnets, Nick? They're everywhere.
They're beautiful.
Oh my God. I was driving around the hill country this morning.
It's like being on an acid trip.
And it is amazing. And don't move here if you don't live here already. No more people. I saw a Facebook post last night that cracked me up. They were talking about how the Austin population has just exploded. And someone said, that's it. I'm building a wall and California's paying for it. So yeah, don't move
it's so
here.
funny because I share their sentiment at the same time, don't know what to do about it.
It is now completely socially acceptable in the city of Austin to be racist against Californians.
Half of them are from California.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh.
Right.
So you're listening to the voice of
Mexican Border Patrol agents.
Right. You're listening to the official radio show of the Libertarian Party of Texas. To get involved with LP Texas, go to lptexas.org. And we today are talking about the presidential debate that went on last night on Fox Business. It was...
Wait, what debate is this? I thought that the Republican debate was over.
Well, there probably is more. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Republican debate other than I'm not interested in any of those people. I don't know anything about the Democratic debate.
Oh, you mean the Libertarian?
I mean the Libertarian debate.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It was on Fox Business. It was nationally televised. It's one of a series of debates that have been taking place all around the country, but this one was actually televised.
Next of which will be happening this weekend. Camilla watched this Libertarian debate. We have a folk with us who has watched a Libertarian debate for the first time, and she's been giving us her impression of it from an outsider's perspective outside of the Libertarian, I wouldn't say cult, but it is a niche.
It is a small little...
It's growing.
Different.
It's growing. We say it's growing.
Thank you for that PR spin
growing.
there, Nick. It is, though. We're seeing the largest, at least polling numbers and that sort of thing that we've ever seen. In 2012, Gary Johnson won more votes than any other Libertarian ever has. We're now on the ballot in all 50 states. We are the third party who can make that claim.
But regardless, we're getting rid of groupthink. So when people start voting according to their conscience instead of what the rest of the cows are doing, then it's going to be its time. But until then...
And I think this is why I'm having such an identity crisis right now, because I have spent the last 5 years saying, listen, I don't care if you like that candidate. You agree with this candidate over here more. You're just afraid to make that jump. I've been saying this to my Republican and Democratic friends for years. And last night, the guy who I agreed with the most was Austin Peterson. And I'm still a little bit taken aback by that.
We also, I don't think, touched on any of the issues that we probably disagree with him on. I don't think we touch on every issue in that debate
That's true. And we will hear more from these candidates this Friday night in San Antonio, Texas. If you want to go to that debate, tickets are still available at libertynow.org. It is the first night of the Libertarian Party of Texas State Convention. I think it's going to be fantastic. We've got so many cool things going on at this convention.
Are you going to it?
I am definitely going to it, yes. Yeah, I'm very excited. We're going to
Ben is very heavily involved in the convention.
We're going to be broadcasting actually this show from the convention next Saturday.
Oh, wow.
I think the rest of the radio shows that happen on Saturday will also be there. Yep. John's giving me the thumbs up.
Ben's so involved, it was debated whether they should name it the Ben Convention.
No. We are very lucky to have an events department who's worked very hard on this. But yeah, we'll be able to meet. I don't know if you know who Julie Borowski is. She will be there. Jeffrey Tucker will be there.
Who are these people?
Martina will be there.
Martina,
my wife.
Yep. Nick's wife will be there.
Oh.
I just thought I'd say someone you might know.
Oh, I know her. She's going. Okay.
I don't. It's going to be fantastic. And then we have started partnering with different organizations. One of the organizations that I wanted to mention, sorry, I've got a thing in my throat, is a group called Blockchain Technologies, and we are running all of our elections through blockchain technologies this time around. Now,
Interesting.
On Wednesday, those guys will be able to better describe exactly how the blockchain works. I don't exactly get it, but what I do understand is that it is a verifiable way to run elections. And they are handling all of the election stuff for us. So we don't have to print out papers. They will print out papers. We don't have to count the votes. They will count the votes. It's just fantastic. They're called Blockchain Technologies.
Convenient.
That sounds fascinating. So, for example, the lawsuit that we have going on here in Austin for election fraud, because there's no accountability,
Correct.
could be solved by having some kind of open source blockchain where you can see exactly what and who.
You can see the chain of custody from the time it leaves like your voting hand until it's tallied and put into play.
That's brilliant.
And they put it onto the blockchain, which I think means it's there forever. And you can't change it once it's on there because it's no longer in the control of any human being.
So I'm a candidate, and I would have my blockchain that everybody would add on to.
I don't know how. I don't think so. I really don't know.
Are you going to be
really
candidate now?
Yeah.
No, just hypothetical.
I think you should actually run for president.
I think John might know more about how this stuff works.
Hello.
You're
hello.
Great.
So yeah,
you know a little bit more about this blockchain. Is it the blockchain of Gary Johnson or
sure. Well, they would be using the Bitcoin blockchain, which is the public ledger that tallies and keeps track of all the transactions that take place on with Bitcoin. So what you can do is you can create tokens that operate and are transmitted on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. So one way that it could play out would be one company, this company Blockchain Incorporated, what are they called?
Blockchain Technologies.
Blockchain Technologies, Inc. They would be able to issue a public address to each one of the voters, and then there could be an address set up for each one of the candidates. And then each one of the voters with that address, they're sent a voting token. That's one unique token that can't be replicated. It can't be sent somewhere else. Can't double them up.
Okay.
And then each one of those voters would also have a private key, which allows them to sign their transaction. The private key gives you access to the tokens or the Bitcoin associated with the public address, the account number, basically. And only that person that controlled that private key would then be able to send that token to whatever address is associated with each candidate, which would then be recorded on the blockchain, and it would be unalterable. And essentially, there wouldn't be any way to sneak any extra votes. I'm not sure exactly if that's how they're going to do it, but that's how it could be done, and it would work flawlessly.
I don't know
That's
exactly
way better.
how they are specifically doing it, but I do know that there is still a paper element to this, because that was really big. One of the things in the Laura Presley lawsuit is you can't access any actual paper ballots to audit that system. So there is a paper element. So people will be like filling out paper just like they've always done. But then they take that information and then scan it, which, by the way, there's going to be a camera over their shoulder while they're counting votes. And then they put it into the blockchain.
The paper ballot could have a QR code that represents their private key.
Okay.
And all you got to do is like scan it. There could be a candidate station for each candidate with a scanner, and then you put your private key underneath, and your token is sent to that candidate, and it's paper, and it's you can even put it in the ballot box associated with the address.
Well, I would nominate John to the blockchain committee.
The blockchain committee.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, I tell you what, we're gonna find out about this next weekend, because we will all be there in San Antonio. While this is going on, and that's just another example of how the Libertarian Party of Texas is showcasing that we are the party of the 21st century. We are not afraid
and
to
the 22nd.
Right. We are not afraid to use technology in creative ways to solve problems. And that's
innovative.
Yeah, it is.
And it doesn't require the government to sign off on it, because you can't trust the government, as our good friend Dr. Laura Presley has proven.
That's exactly right. And as we've found out for ourselves many times over and over and over again.
To hell with all of them.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason radio show here on the Logos Radio Network and locally at 89.1 FM in Austin, Texas. Don't move here, folks. It is the official show of the Libertarian Party of Texas. To get involved, go to lptexas.org. And I sure hope you go to libertynow.org. We'll catch you just after this next break.
To talk about building a wall.
Some companies will do just about anything to make a buck, including manipulate your mind. Neuromarketers have their sight on your pocketbook and hope to make you offers your subconscious can't refuse. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll tell you more in just a moment.
Your search engine is watching you, recording all your searches and creating a massive database of your personal information. That's creepy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Startpage.com is the world's most private search engine. Startpage doesn't store your IP address, make a record of your searches, or use tracking cookies, and they're third-party certified. If you don't like Big Brother spying on you, start over with Startpage. Great search results and total privacy. Startpage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Years ago, I learned the so-called 4 Ps of marketing. Make a great product, price it right, place it on shelves, and promote it. But today's marketers have a scary new technique called neuromarketing. It uses EEG and MRI brain scans to peer deep into a person's mind. Researchers show messages to volunteers and then monitor their brains to see which ones get them to spend and act in certain ways without realizing they've been influenced. It's bad enough to sell products this way, but now it's being used to sell candidates and political ideas. This means the mind-controlled zombies from science fiction may soon be all around us. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. More news and information at CatherineAlbrecht.com.
You're listening to the Logos Radio Network at logosradionetwork.com.
Looking for my complaints on assembly lines. Fake rises rising out of the bomb holes. Skeleton boys hide up in purple. Smoke rings blow from across the disco. Banknotes burn like broken equipment. Looking for shelter, readjust your position. Rock control, those written confessions. 2 dimensions, dumb your head down. God don't look now, company missiles. Power is raunchy, men and cops are watching. Make your dreams out of paper mache. Cliche, wasted, hate, taste, test. Hell yes, now moving this way. I'm doing this thing.
Please enjoy.
Hell yes, now turning it on. I'm working my legs. Hell yes, now I'm calling you out. I'm switching my plates.
Please enjoy.
Hell yes, now I'm cleaning the floor. My beat is correct. Stretch to the limit, attention span, snap back the track. Collapsing the laugh tracks, noise response.
Welcome back to the Voice of Reason radio show here on the Logos Radio Network and locally 89.1 FM in Austin, Texas. The official radio show of the Libertarian Party of Texas. To get involved with the Libertarian Party of Texas, go to lptexas.org. And we've got our state convention coming up this week. We were just talking about some of the cool new technology that we'll be showcasing at this convention. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to go to the convention, there are still some tickets available at libertynow.org. We want to take some phone calls in the next half hour. So if you are listening, you can feel free to call in. Our number out here is 512-646-1984, like the Orwell novel. Again, your number is 512-646-1984. Another of the cool technologies, Nick, that we are showcasing comes from our friends over at Signal Labs. Have I described this thing to you yet? It's a
Signal Labs. Is that a play on for signal, but with a Z?
That is correct. Yes. And you can go to signallabs.com to check out what their technology does. What it is a data analyzer. And theirs is specifically keyed towards looking at social media, at alternative media, and at mainstream media, so that we will actually be able to see how the internet is responding to the candidates as they debate in real time. We don't have to run focus groups afterwards. We don't have to, put 20 people in a room and figure out what the whole world is thinking because of what these 20 people say. We can actually look and watch the internet react in real time.
Wow.
I'm very excited to have this. You guys have actually seen this technology before because my company showcased it at ACL Fest.
Where we met?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the cool graphic-y things that were going on.
Right. Folks, we have a reunion here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were all
Camilla's the one who introduced Ben and I.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I did.
That's right. Yeah. I don't exactly remember how all that came about, but I remember I said something and you were like, oh, you would like my brother. That's my Camilla impression.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's what I sound like.
Whoa, I thought there was 2 of y'all.
I know. I scared myself for a half second there.
You talked about everything that he liked, so here's your business card.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Camilla's been promoting me. She's been handing out my business cards. I get emails from people that I know I haven't met, but I know that Camilla has been handing out my business cards to
everyone.
South by.
All of South by. Just,
Well,
here, broken arm, here's a business card.
You look like you need freedom.
I said that to everyone.
Also, I posted an ad about you on Craigslist.
What?
Yeah.
What?
About which service?
the best ones.
I hope only the good ones.
Look for it on
I do
Craigslist,
consulting on how to live without using your social security number and new development. New development. I did say doo-doo, didn't I? I do consulting on the my bank, my credit union will allow someone who does not have a social security number to get a bank account.
Oh.
This is absolutely unheard of.
Unheard of. No bank.
You hear that, John? Your kids can have a bank account.
Yes. Mine too.
All right. Let's
at Velocity Credit Union, folks.
Yeah. So a lot of these groups, I mean, we've just partnered with a whole lot of organizations, a whole lot of very liberty-minded organizations. You're going to be able to talk to people from Central Texas Gunworks next week. You're going to be able to meet people from the Texas Nationalist Movement next week. We have groups that are right to life and pro-choice groups going to be in the same room with one another. It's just
holding hands,
holding hands
all together.
Yes, and laughing and playing and splashing around,
frolicking
through the flowers
while they open carry. This is what a libertarian convention is. It is high technology. It is high philosophy. And the key word is high. And we're going to have a lot of fun.
And that's what they talked about in the debate.
They did. I'm glad you mentioned that because
I think Gary Johnson was high during the debate.
Well, he's just kind of,
and I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
I don't think he was.
Inspired.
I think he's just kind of, I don't know what the word is. He's not very excitable.
It's like Eeyore. But I like him. He's a good Eeyore.
I like him too, and I've met him.
Role well.
Hitler was very fervent.
Well,
but
he was. Hitler was a loudmouth, wasn't he? Shut up! The more I learn about that guy, the less I like him. Yeah, okay. John's now holding up a shirt that says "Nobody for president." And to be fair, nobody cares about you. Nobody will get rid of taxes. Nobody will ensure that your kids have quality education. Yeah, I get it. It's fun. But in the Libertarian Party, we will have a candidate for president in all 50 on the ballot in all 50 states, and we are the only the third party who can make that claim. And of course, we see the mess that's going on in the old parties right now. And
the fact that we're a third party itself is amazing.
It really is. The amount of hurdles that we have to overcome in order to just be a political party, they are pretty amazing. But
just to have a third party is such a good thing.
Y'all are not that popular.
Yeah.
So we brought on Camilla to be the voice of the people who are outside of the libertarian niche.
Why do you think we're not that popular, Camilla?
Not that many people know about Libertarian Party.
That is an amazing statement. So if they did...
If they did, then I think more people would switch over to that side. I don't know what side it is. It might be in the middle or above or
Camilla,
below.
have you ever yourself Googled libertarian?
No, well, you told me about it. So I actually did Google the debate of who was running for president of the Libertarian Party before the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right.
See?
That's impressive.
That is actually impressive.
We're sucking you in.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
How old are you?
21.
In 21 years of being my sister, you have Googled prior to this show. I'm actually impressed. Yeah. That's really good. But what was your impression of the debate? Usually when people watch the debates, the Republican debates or the Democratic debates, they always use the word, oh, it's such a joke or it's so ridiculous in the same sentence. But what was your impression of this debate compared to those? You've watched other debates, right?
Right. And I mean, from what I did watch, it just didn't look like they were all trying to put each other under the stove. You know, they're always... All the other debates, everyone is trying to dig up dirty information and they're just saying bad things about them rather than actual things that they want to change. And then this debate, they were answering the questions and, I mean, the person that was asking the questions were bringing up bad things of their past. Like
Stossel did try to cover that. And they all had great answers for
the problem with you is...
Right. He mentioned to Gary Johnson, he actually said that, you know, people have accused you smoke marijuana. And you say that you admit to smoking marijuana. And whereas I'm okay with that, maybe the rest of the country isn't.
And Camilla, what did you think about his response?
For that question?
Yeah.
Oh, I said, I mean, if it goes viral, if everyone were to see that debate for just that little snapshot of that answer, I think everyone would vote for him for president.
The barrier to us being a not very popular party to becoming a popular party is just the publicity, I would say.
It is media. It is media. The media has just kind of refused to cover anything to do with the Libertarian Party.
Right. I think his response was something like, yeah, me, and I'm part of a minority of 130
million people. Right. Exactly.
With his pinky to his
million. So that's exactly what it is. The barrier of entry into getting into the mainstream has been media coverage. And media coverage is something that we will have next week at the state convention. Well, we've got press passes that have been requested from, well, not only this station, Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, did I say that one already?
No.
And Univision.
Okay.
NPR.
All right.
They have. I don't know if they're going to show up, but they have requested press passes. So
because I called each one of their houses.
we have been hunting them down pretty ridiculously. But you know that's what we have to contend with is we have to generate our own media support. And this media station right here is Logos Radio Network. You're listening to the Voice of Reason radio show. Locally at 89.1 FM in the Austin, Texas area. Don't move here. To get involved with the Libertarian Party of Texas, go to lptexas.org. We'll be back right after this break with more.
Welcome, this is a farmhouse. We have cluster flies, alas, and this time of year is bad. We are so very sorry. There is little we can do. Swat them. She didn't beg, oh not enough. She didn't stay when things got tough. I told a lie, she got mad. She wasn't there when things got bad.
Welcome back, all you schmohawks out there in radio listening land. You're listening to the Voice of Reason radio show on the Logos Radio Network and locally 89.1 FM in Austin, Texas. Don't move here. It is the official radio show of the Libertarian Party of Texas. And if you really want to get involved, and you really should want to get involved, but hey, I'm not going to force you. You can go to lptexas.org. And if you really want to come to the state convention next weekend it's Friday, April 8th, April 9th, April 10th. It's going to be in San Antonio, Texas. You can buy tickets at libertynow.org. And today we're talking about, well, a number of things, but one of the things is that we had a nationally televised presidential debate last night on Fox Business, and it was magnificent. It was
amazing.
It was really amazing.
So good.
I got to listen to presidential candidates actually talk about issues and talk about solutions to societal problems that just doesn't happen in the old parties. All you hear is mudslinging in the old parties, and it's just a big mess.
You got a little something right here. Yeah, it's all just picking at each other. Picking at each other.
It's just rude.
It is just rude.
And I always hear people say, oh, it's such a joke, or, oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? In the same sentence. But this was not like that. This debate was totally an absolute show of the libertarian character and respectful, even though they were calling each other out.
Well, on issues, though.
On issues, yeah, but not personally.
And really,
even though they did, it was personal, but it wasn't hostile.
Stossel did a good job of addressing like the elephant in the room questions. With Gary Johnson, it was, hey, you have admitted to using marijuana. What do you say to that? He answered it brilliantly, by the way.
Try it.
Then he turned to John McAfee and said, you were a person of interest in a murder in Belize. And John McAfee
that was crazy.
He answered that question brilliantly, though. I mean, it was like he said the exact reason. What went down is he had been asked for a $2 million bribe by the government of Belize. He refused to give it to him. And a week later, his house was raided by, I think he said 42 soldiers who then shot his dog in front of him and tortured him. He said, and then tortured me. And then I ran to Guatemala. Right.
That was a pretty interesting little, statement to drop in the middle of a sentence. I was thinking we'll come back to that.
Yeah, but we never did. I do want to find out more about how was he tortured by him? I don't think I'd ever heard that before.
It's really interesting.
But anyways, it was like, well, sure. I mean,
why'd they shoot the dog?
They always shoot the dog. Your poor dogs in this city.
The dog didn't do anything.
I know. It's once you start kind of getting involved in the police accountability issue, it's just dead dog after dead dog.
Because the dog was a witness.
The dog was a witness.
They didn't kill the dog, though. They neutralized the threat.
That's what they say. They were fearing for their own safety.
Because that makes it better.
Right.
If you say it like that, it doesn't make you feel better. Anyway.
Yeah, so they did. And then he turned to Austin Peterson. I loved this. I love this. I almost stood up and screamed and cheered. He turned to Austin Peterson and said, and the reason I don't like you is because you're 12 years old. And it was hilarious. Everyone got a laugh out of it. But then Austin turned it. He pivoted and said, on July 4th, 1776, Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old.
That's right.
He rattled off a bunch, John Adams. I don't know. He rattled off a bunch of names.
Florence Nightingale was 12 years old.
There you go. And then he said, this country was founded by young men, and the young people of this country are wanting to take it back right now.
That's right. I was throwing popcorn in the air.
He just really did a really good job. I was very impressed. And I did not go into that debate supporting him. I still don't know where. I don't think I support anyone yet. But man, he caught my ear.
Yeah, I'd vote for y'all.
You would?
Okay.
Yeah, if y'all went up there, I would vote.
Well, there you go. So that's what we need to do. But that is a big thing that's going on in the party right now is that the millennial generation is taking, I'm not going to say taking over the party, but getting into positions of power within the organization.
We, in fact, have a millennial here with us today.
Well, we have 3, I believe.
Well, y'all are 2.
But her generation is definitely a party of non-voters. Like they are the non-voters and non-participants. So I think that this is showing that they've been getting more involved recently.
That's typically the case with the young demographic. When the baby boomers were that age, they weren't voting either.
Right.
And the millennials are now the largest voting generation in the country.
Boom.
So as soon as we decide who we like to vote for and start actually voting for that whatever that is, that's it. It's game over.
I think it would be interesting, too, if everybody went to isidewith.com or something like that.
Yeah, I have got to try that. I have no idea who I want to vote for.
Well, try it out. They've thrown in a couple curveballs. They got Hitler in there. They've got.
Do they really?
No.
Oh.
This is my suggestion.
It was the other section.
They really should put Hitler in there.
They should. Just so people
would be.
Know.
They would go,
just
"Oh my God, I side 60% with Hitler." I bet people would. I hope they do that. Actually, that would be hilarious.
I think college students are just preoccupied most of the time with their own life, just living their own world, so they're not focused on what's actually happening out in the real world.
Well, and college students haven't quite yet experienced how government can affect your life, your specific life.
Absolutely.
Because they're not typically paying taxes at a level that, is really like harmful. They don't have any money to begin with, so. And then they've been in government schools. They've been in government schools for their entire lives.
Right, which are not democratic.
No, not at all.
The value of democracy is not experienced in government systems because it's not democratic.
Neither is the value of individualism.
Oh, absolutely not.
And in fact, and this is any culture across the world, teenagers like to be in groups. it's not kind of until we get older that we go, you know what? I want to do my thing. I don't need to be doing the thing that everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things combined, but that is where we in the Libertarian Party are seeing the largest growth segment is in young people. And you can look across the board at leadership. Millennials have been taking over. I mean, I've been the vice chair of this party for the state party for the last couple of years.
And you're only 12.
That's right. I'm
12
30.
and a half.
How old am I? I'm 33.
I'm 28 today.
Oh,
actually.
you know what? Actually, it is Nick's birthday today.
Oh, that's right. That's why Camilla's in town.
That's why I'm here.
Well,
happy
happy birthday.
Thanks.
Oh, so John's whooping in the background there.
And I know everyone out there is also clapping and standing up ovation.
Yep, absolutely. And Nick, I just want to thank you for the work that you've done as the media coordinator.
On your birthday.
Yeah. You're working on your birthday.
Hey, this is how I would spend my birthday, by the way. This is more fun than watching a football game or going out and getting drunk at a bar.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. It is a lot of fun.
Because if I were at a bar getting drunk, I'd really just be talking about how I wish I had a radio show and was talking about some of the things that we're sitting there talking about.
Basically, be talking about this anyways.
Yeah.
But just now other people have to listen
Just
to
in
it.
an awkward setting with standing around.
Right, it's really loud. You have to stand on a chair for people to see you.
You actually can't
Everybody's
hear
drunk.
anyone.
They won't remember what you say anyway. This is a way better environment to talk about some things.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the state convention a little bit more.
Yeah.
We talked about the technology of the blockchain. Blockchain Technologies is going to be running the voting. So that's way awesome.
Can you explain that again?
No, I cannot. I couldn't even do it the first time.
Oh, we have an addition to the platform that I think is being proposed is pretty interesting for libertarians.
We have lots of platform changes that are recommended.
Right.
So yeah,
one of which I think was that the Libertarian Party supports all voluntary relationships for individuals, or something like that.
Well,
and the non-aggression principle, like it's saying it explicitly.
Okay.
Now.
Well, I mean that's part of the philosophy since the very beginning. Is
of course,
that all relationships should be voluntary, and that includes the relationship between you and your government.
I tried to get a divorce with the
government.
Did it work? Did you sign the papers?
No, apparently they said this is. Well, I called the Social Security Administration and I asked for a divorce. I said, well, I didn't enter into this relationship knowingly and voluntarily, and this was kind of a satire. But they said, well, first they said, well, hold on, my technical supervisor's flagging me over. But then they came and read from a script, and they said the Social Security Administration does not rescind, delete, or remove the number once it has been assigned. And that was
like on
pretty
your
much
forehead.
the end of it. Yeah.
Stamped.
And that's why my baby will not be getting one.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
But this convention.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, the convention's going to be a load of fun. There are people, if you know who Jeff Deist is, he's the head of the Mises Institute.
Nope.
He will be there. I've mentioned Jeffrey Tucker, who is the founder of Liberty.me.
And a number of other Jeffreys, I'm sure, will be there.
Lots of Jeffs. Yep. Julie Borowski's going to be there.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Tatiana Moroz.
Ooh.
Dr. Mary Ruwart.
Bob Murphy.
John Bush will be there.
John Bush is definitely going to be there.
Taylor Swift
is invited. Would that help if we had Taylor Swift come to our convention?
Don't think we invited Miley Cyrus.
No.
We did. I don't know. I don't
sent
remember.
out an invitation saying "Do not come."
Oh, that's right. A disinvitation.
Mumford and Sons were invited.
She's more than welcome to twerking, but as long as she doesn't try and make everybody else twerk.
That's it. And that's our entire philosophy about everything. Do your own twerking and don't make me. That's pretty much sums it up. I'm making John, make a t-shirt.
She didn't even invent it.
I saw a really good, what should be a t-shirt the other day, and it was a picture of all these different flavors of ice cream. Oh, yeah. And it said, the free market. Enjoy your flavors. And then it showed a picture of chocolate or vanilla. And then it said, and then it showed 51% versus 49%. Mm-hmm. And it said, enjoy your vanilla, everybody.
Right.
That's politics.
And
until we can get rid of government, that is the value of voting. That's it. You can't just choose and take your dollars somewhere else.
That's right. They own the monopoly. You are forced to buy their products against your will.
We're in a war, and this is part of it. The Libertarian Party is one of the biggest punches you have.
Freedom.
Freedom. And with that,
I will soundbite, Camilla.
With that, I will say I hope to see all of you folks out there at the state convention next Saturday. We'll be broadcasting this show from the convention floor
live.
You've been listening to the Voice of Reason radio show on the Logos Radio Network. Go to lptexas.org to get involved, and we'll see you next week at the convention.